What's going on, guys? It's Crispier, and today we are back with another entry into the Pokemon butt digging series. This time, we're going to be covering the wonderful Unova region of Gen 5. And let me tell you, what a beautiful region with so many awesome Pokemon. So many that this is probably going to be my longest butt digging video yet. Maybe my longest YouTube video yet. So, let's get into it. First, we got Victini. Now, Victini, it's got long arms compared to its small body. I think it's going to be able to reach around well and be able to dig in its butt just fine. Victini, I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10 on the butt diggability scale. Next, we got the grass starter Serperior. And on first look, Serperior, its arms are very short. Most people don't even know it has arms. So you would think it's bad at digging in its butt, right? Wrong. Serperior is going to be awesome at digging in its butt for the same reason that Pokemon like Venusaur are awesome at digging in their butt. They can learn Vine Whip. Serperior can use Vine Whip, extend its vines around its body, and shove them right up its butthole. Serperior, 10 out of 10 on the butt diggability scale. Next, we got the fire starter, Emboar. Now, Emboar, I don't think that it'll be able to dig that well, but I still think it'll be able to dig, mainly because of its clunky body. But its arms look like it has just enough length to be able to dig in its butt. So, Emboar, I'm going to give a 4 out of 10 on the butt diggability scale. Next, we got the water starter, Samurott. Now, Samurott, I think, is not going to be able to dig in its butt that well, mainly because it is a quadruped, and I don't think its limbs are long enough to reach back to its butt. So, Samurott, unfortunately, I'm going to have to give a 2 out of 10 on the butt diggability scale. Next, we got Crocodile. Now, Crocodile, I think, is in the same boat as Emboar, where it's not going to have long enough arms to reach around its clunky body to be able to dig in its butt. So just like Emboar, I'm going to give Crocodile a 4 out of 10 due to its bipedal, somewhat humanoid build. Next, we got the Trickster Zoroark. Now, Zoroark, very unique case. In my personal experience, I think Zoroark would be best at digging in its butt if it shapeshifted into Enharmonia and started digging in its butt right in front of me so I could see and dig in his butt. That would be very hot. And if Zoroark pulled that off, it'd have to be a 10 out of 10 on the butt diggability scale. Are you kidding me? You telling me you don't want to see that beautiful twink dig in his butt and perhaps find some gold? Be for real. You're either watching or you're lying to me. Next Pokemon. Next, we got Gothitelle. Now, Gothitelle, very interesting because I don't quite know its anatomy that well. If the dress that it has is just like part of it and it doesn't really move, then Gothitelle is going to score low. I'd probably say a 1 out of 10. But if the dress, gown, whatever it is, can flap up and there's legs under there, you're probably going to be looking at a 7 or an 8 out of 10 on the butt diggability scale. But it is very dependent on how the dress operates, considering its anatomy. So just to review, dress doesn't flip up, 1 out of 10. Dress does flip up, 7 or 8 out of 10. Now, next, we got Reuniclus. In Reuniclus, like Gothitelle, I'm having some questions about the anatomy. Now, if the membrane fingers that it has are able to reach through the other membrane and not just combine or become one with it, then it's going to be able to dig in there well. But if they don't and it just combines, then Reuniclus is not going to be able to dig in its butt. So it's another 2-number rating. If the fingers can actually reach through the membrane and not combine, Reuniclus is getting a 9 out of 10 because of the shape of the fingers. But if it does combine, 0 out of 10 because there's not going to be any digging at all. Next, we got Vanillix. And Vanillix, thankfully, not complicated at all. No arms, no legs, probably no butthole, 0 out of 10. Next up, we got the OG King of Stall, Ferrothorn. Now, Ferrothorn is going to be interesting because I imagine with it being, with it having iron barbs, if it tries to dig in its own butt, which it very much can, it's going to hurt. So if Ferrothorn is a masochist, it's going to have a great experience inflicting pain upon itself. But if not, if it's a little bit vanilla, it's not going to have a good time. So it really just depends on the personality and preferences of the individual Ferrothorn, but from a practicality standpoint and a viability standpoint and a functionality standpoint, Ferrothorn, I'm going to have to give an 8 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. It's able to reach around well, and it's got the shape to do so. Next, we got Chandelure. And Chandelure is like our friend Vanillix. Suffers from the same problem. No arms, no legs, don't even think it has a butthole. Once again, a 0 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. Next, we got Haxorus. Now, Haxorus, although its arms look short, it is very flexible, and I think it's going to be able to contort its body in a way to where the arms will be able to reach. And on top of the arms being able to reach, the fingertips look like they would be able to fit in nicely, the little red fingers that it has on the ends of its arms. So even if the arms don't work, the tail is definitely flexible enough to be able to contort up and reach in the butthole. So Haxorus, I'm going to give an 8 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. Next, we got another dragon type Pokemon, Hydreigon. Now, Hydreigon is unique. Like a lot of the other Pokemon in the Unova region, a lot of unique Pokemon in the Unova region, but Hydreigon is unique because while its arms have enough length to reach its butt, each arm has its own individual personality and its own eyes, face, mouth. Now, this is interesting because we don't know how each of the individual heads are going to react. If you put it up next to the butthole, it gets a whiff of that, and it's smelling like some stank booty, it's probably not going to want to dig in there that much. But, Hydreigon could be a freak, could have 3 freaky personalities, and one of the heads could be just going to town chomping on some butt pubes, some butt hairs, some frontal pubes, So with good teamwork and cooperation, I'm going to give Hydreigon a 9 out of 10 on the butt digability scale because it'll feel like you have somebody else doing it for you. And really, any act of sexual pleasure feels better when someone else is doing it for you. Now we're on to some of the many legendaries that Unova has offered us. First, we're going to be talking about the Swords of Justice, Virizion, Terrakion, and Cobalion. So, with Virizion and Cobalion, I think they are going to be able to reach their heads around or under their bodies and be able to dig in their butts with their tongues. Nasty, yes. Functional, yes. So those two, I'm going to give them a 7 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. Terrakion, too clunky, not going to be able to reach, 1 out of 10. Next, I want to talk about the Genie Trio, Tornadus, Thundurus, Landorus. Now, in their Genie forms, their incarnate forms, they are not going to be able to dig in their butts because they don't have butts to dig in, 0 out of 10. However, in their Therian forms, Tornadus is not going to be able to because it doesn't have any fingers, it has wings, so 0 out of 10. Landorus going to be able to use the Virizion Cobalion method, Nasty, yes. Functional, also yes. 7 out of 10. Thunderous, got the hands, the humanoid build, and the anal beads at the end of the tail. Thunderous, 9 out of 10. Next, we got the poster boy for Pokemon White. The pursuer of ideals, Zekrom. Now, Zekrom, I don't think is going to have too good of a time trying to dig in its butt, mainly because of the way its arms and fingers are shaped. The fingers don't really extend out of the arms, rather, or they don't extend out of the hands, but they extend like out of the forearms. And I don't think you're going to be able to reach around like that and dig in your butt like that. So Zekrom, because it can reach, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. Next, talking about the poster boy for Pokemon Black, the representation of truth, Reshiram. The truth is, it's going to be able to dig in its butt well because it has fingers that actually extend out of its hands. Well, wings. But they can easily reach around and reach up there. Reshiram, I'm giving a 7 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. Next, we got the Man-Eater, Kyurem. Kyurem, if it has the DNA splicers, it's going to be able to bend its ice wings around and dig in its butt well. So, since it's contingent on having an item, we're going to give a 2 number again. So, without the DNA splicers, its stubby little arms ain't reaching around there. Its wings aren't reaching around there because they're not flexible. So, without the DNA splicers, 0 out of 10. But with the DNA splicers, we're going to go with a cool, smooth 8 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. Next, we got another one of the 4 mythical Pokemon in Unova, Keldeo. Now, Keldeo is, quite frankly, not going to be able to dig in its butt well because it doesn't have hands, it has hooves, and the horn isn't flexible enough to reach around in there. Neither does it have the neck length or anatomy to do so. Keldeo, unfortunately, is going to get a 1 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. Next, we got another mythical, Meloetta. Meloetta, I think due to its anatomy, very humanoid, very human-like, it's going to be able to dig well in its butt because us as humans are gifted with the blessing of being able to dig in our butts quite easily. Now, with Meloetta, shit's going to be poetic because it's going to be digging in its butt and it's going to be belting out all the high notes. That shit nasty. I know, saying it now, but it had to be said. Meloetta, 9 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. Finally, rounding it off for the mythicals and the Unova region as a whole, Genesect. Now, Genesect I also think is going to be digging in its butt with precision. One, because it is a machine orchestrated specifically for digging in its butt. Look at the single mandibles that it has on the ends of its arms, that it has as its hands. It's going to be able to reach around there and dig with ease and with pleasure. And also, depending on what drive you give it, if you give it a chill drive, it's going to feel like you got some Vicks Vapor Rub on your finger when you pop it up there. Hot drive, heat drive, it's going to feel like a motherfucking chili pepper up there. And because of anatomy and customization, Genesect is also going to get a 9 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. Anyway, those were all the Unova Pokemon that I wanted to talk about. And once again, what a wonderful region and what a memorable set of games. Definitely my favorite Pokemon games in the series. Now, if you made it this far, thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoyed, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button and comment what type of content you want to see from me next. Now, please throw some racks of real ones way so I can keep making these videos for you. And with that said, I'll see you next time. Jacrispier, out.